Welcome to the Big and Little Crochet blog, and this week we're going to be doing hexagon number 5, which is the pink popcorn. So I've got my white and my rose yarn here, and I'm going to start off with the white, and we start off with a slip stitch. There we are, and a 4mm hook, and we're going to make a chain of 8. So that's 8 chains, and I'm going to join to the beginning with a slip stitch. So put the hook into that first chain and then pull the yarn through to make a ring. And this short end will lie round the ring, and we'll work into that because we're going to make 24 trebles. So we start off with a 3 chain, that's the standing chain for a treble. And then we're going to make 23 trebles into that space. So keep doing that until you've got 24 all together. So here's my 24 trebles, or rather 23 trebles and a 3 chain, and I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the third of those 3 chains. And I'm going to try and get my hook under 2 bars so that it makes a secure close there. Now the next round is sort of spokes in a wheel, and we start off with a 3 chain for a treble again, but then another 2 chain. You'll see why in a minute. And now I'm going to skip 1 treble and do my treble into the next one along, then another 2 chain, and then skip the next one and into there. So this way you should have a treble in every other of your 24, so you'll have 12 spokes to your wheel. So you keep doing that all the way around. So this is what it looks like at the end of that round, and I've done 2 chain at the end, and I'm going to join into that first 5 chain we did, but into the third one. So and we'll just do a slip stitch, and again it's best if you can get under 2 bars. Now it looks like it's not going to sit straight, but it will. And now we're going to fasten off and join in the pink. So I'm going to join the rose yarn, and the easiest way to do that is to make another slip stitch, and I'm going to join it to any of these 2 chain spaces. So put my hook through the work first and then pick up the slip stitch, making sure that you work with the long bit of yarn, not the short bit, and then make a little chain. And we're going to start off with a 3 chain. And we're going to make a popcorn. So the way to do that is to make 3 trebles. So it's what we're doing is a 4 treble popcorn, but this first one has 3 trebles and a 3 chain. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to take the hook out of the work and insert it into the top of that 3 chain, and then back into our chain, and then pull through. 1 popcorn made. Now in between each popcorn there's going to be 2 chains, and then we'll make the next one here. So 4 trebles, one, 2, 3, 4, and take the hook out of the stitch back into the top of it, this first treble here, into the one that we've made, and then pull the yarn through both. Popcorn made. So 2 chain and make another one in the next space, and continue to do that all the way around. So having done your 12 popcorns, then you do 2 chain and finish by joining with a slip stitch to the top of the first 3 chain that you did, or the back of that first popcorn in there. And I know it's not sitting straight or flat at the moment, but I think that will come in the next round. So fasten this off and we're going to join the white again. So I'm going to join the white now to any of the spaces in between the popcorns, and we're going to start off with a 4 chain in lieu of double treble. So because that's how high it needs to be, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 treble into the same space that you were in, and that's going to be half of one of the corners, you'll see in a minute. So there's going to be another bit that goes into that space, but for now we go on to the next space with 3 trebles. So I start off with 2 trebles and then a double treble. Okay, so a double treble, you go round twice, pull the yarn through, yarn over through the first 2, second 2, and then third, like that. So it's just a bit taller than a treble. And then we're going to do 2 chains for the corner and another double treble and 2 trebles. So repeat that, so the next space will be 3 trebles and then another corner. So do that all the way around. So you can see the shaping beginning to appear. So when you get to the end of that round, you do the second half of the corner, 2 trebles and a double treble, 2 chains, and then join with a slip stitch to the 4th of that tall chain you did right at the beginning of the round, and just pull the yarn through, and then we're going to fasten off that and rejoin the pink again. So for the 5th round we're going to have a round of double crochet. So we join to any of these corner spaces, let's say this one here, and I've made a slip stitch in my rose yarn, and we're going to pull that through and do 1 chain there, and then I'm going to do a double crochet in each of those stitches along, and there should be 9 stitches. So I'll start with this one up here, and I'm going to lay the short end of the pink along the back so that it gets worked in, and then that's fewer ends to sew in later. That's it. So that's the double, is the simple stitch where you just pull the yarn through, there's no yarn over before you do it. So you do 9 down the side. Then when we get to this first corner, I'm going to do 2 chain, so 1 DC in the space, 2 chain and another DC, and then I've got the I finished winding in that pink yarn, but now I'm going to wind in this white from the round below, all in the interests of less sewing in later. And it's often difficult to find the first stitch, so the first stitch that you need to go into to get your 9 is in this little knotty bit at the beginning here somewhere. So make sure you get that one in there and carry on all the way around. So that's hexagon number 5 done, and I can sew the ends in. Best to do it now whilst I think about it, and I'm just going to thread the end in along the back there, keeping it under the same colour that it's in already so it doesn't show up. There we are, number 5 done.